13 on Your Side Late Night starts now.
And we begin with those dangerous conditions that will be building overnight on Lake Michigan. Chief Meteorologist George Lessons is here now to explain what's causing them.
Can't be emphatic enough. If you're on vacation here, you're going to get one last fling out at the lake. Just stay on the beaches and further inland because it's going to be a dangerous day. There are 2 or 3 days a year that we all dread. There's going to be some issues out on Lake Michigan. First responders, Coast Guard folks are going to be really busy tomorrow if you don't stay off the beaches. Let's take a look at Grand Haven right now. Winds are deceptively light right now. Those winds are going to be increasing though overnight, and that's what's going to be driving the waves. As far as our current conditions out there, winds already gusting to 25 miles per hour to the south. It's just building up all of that water right at the lakeshore. Already waves up to 5 feet just offshore in Mason County, 2 to 3 footers already, and they're going to increase the rest of the night. We have a beach hazard alert that has gone into effect. Look at those waves. They'll be around 8 to 10 feet by daybreak, and they'll come down to 5 feet. That's why that red line there, that is a high swim risk. So probably the beaches are going to be closed at the state parks. You can see the winds out of the south this evening. All of those yellow and orange colors, that represents 6 to 10 foot waves from the models, and then they're going to shift to the west and northwest. The waves will start to come down though later on in the afternoon, but I'm guarantee you there will not be any swimming allowed at the state park beaches all day tomorrow with a double red flag. So know before you go. I'm telling you, this is what you need to know. The red flag means stop, but we're going to have a double red flag, I'm sure, in most of the locations here tomorrow. And then by the time we get in later this week, we'll have yellow and hopefully green flags, which means still swim safely. Just be aware of the conditions. Juliet.
Thank you, George. Members of the U.S. Coast Guard in Grand Haven are constantly monitoring the latest weather conditions, and they are prepared to respond 24 hours a day. They do expect tomorrow will be rough on the lake, and they're going to start the day preparing for the worst case scenario. A search and rescue crew is always ready. Before anyone decides to go out on the water, they say you should do a risk assessment of the conditions and plan accordingly.
Look at the weather parameters. And do a risk. Is it worthwhile going out in such a rough weather parameters? What is there to gain, and then what is there to lose at the same time on the flip side of things, and put that into account.
For those who do decide to go out on the lake, Clark says to plan accordingly, making sure you have a working radio, life jackets, something that produces sound, and flares.